The independence is an idea which has always been powered by the viable roots of our past millenniums as well as by the centuries of being not free. The independence is a warrant for freedom which must have ground and basis as it was in 1991. The Republic of Armenia has been proclaimed this way. The formation of new system has begun, notwithstanding the challenges that have been facing the newly independent country. The civil service has become one of the pillars of the new public administration system. Time for declining up-to-the-minute solutions, finding system solutions with new requirements, and time for quick changes has come. The sphere of the state service was not regulated in our country. Particularly, the question on who and how might become a civil servant of independent Armenia and what qualities were required of him, her, had to be answered. The law on civil service was to give an answer to these and other questions. Works on the system formation started in the end of 90s. Time was needed for gestation and development of this initiative, especially when not everybody was expecting the law with open arms. The law on civil service was adopted in December 2001, which marked the beginning of the system. The philosophy of the system in general and the logic in particular is that our civil servants should perform an independent professional activity which must not depend on the political forces in power or changes of their correlation. The founding composition of the Council was formed in January 2002. This is how the civil service got underway in Armenia. The process of implementing a unified state policy in the sphere. From the very beginning, we realized that this is a time-demanding issue, as it relates to the mentality and psychology, and as a very specific type of reform that was closely linked with governance system, it should have been accompanied with difficulties, and I do not conceal it was so.
The National Assembly has defeated the draft laws several times, adducing different arguments, and finally it was adopted as there was a clear political demand to be met. The system should have been based on the law, a law which was not only on the paper, but a law having practical mechanism.
Manuel Badalyan was appointed as chairman of the RACSC on January 15, 2002 for a 6-year term by the decree of the President of the Republic of Armenia, and was reappointed to the same position on January 15, 2008 for another 6 years. For the system succession endeavor, Manuel Badalyan was awarded with an Ania Shiragatsi medal in 2005. He has got 3 daughters, and as he confesses, he is the 4th child as well. To some extent, the system is also my child, as I got used to think or feel so, because to start a process from almost nothing, which had been hazy, not clear, very difficult, why not also frightening, and today to have history and biography of a decade, and to some extent to have that right to be proud of the system together with its gaps and disadvantages. The development of the civil service system of the independent Armenia has begun with the council staff recruitment in 2002, which was to lead to a new mentality and promotion of a new culture. A process was launched that demanded creative approach and initiative. Sub-legislative acts were processed step by step according to schedule, which would give the law the opportunity to act in full.
The system was accepted differently. There were more skeptics at the beginning, people who used to think that this was an idea introduced from Europe and will not function in our midst.
During the past 10 years, the system succeeded in the public administration system. The first phase of the system introduction was succeeded. I see the potential, and it gives me confidence. Approaches have been developed in the result of discussions, disputes and researches, most of which were new to our reality. For introduction, succession and development of the system, despite all difficulties, there was a political will, the absolute approval of the head of the country and the blessing of the Catholicos of all Armenians for the success of the work undertaken. To To bear the high title of the civil servant with dignity, unreservedly perform my service duties. This is a fragment from oath text of the civil servant. The first competition was followed by tens, hundreds and thousands of competitions, afterwards also attestations and trainings. Several procedures worked out during the first 6 months were localized to other systems on the governance as well. The position roster of civil service was approved in 2002. 41 state bodies with 7297 civil service positions were included into the newly formed system. The first 3-year period of the civil servants training was launched in 2003 with involvement of 14 universities of the Republic. This was the basis for the consecutive and obligatory training of the civil servants. The trained civil servants then passed the attestation for proving the conformity to the occupied position. As everything has been done for the civil servant to be protected, irreplaceable and constant, he or she has to acquire also alike qualities. Should the person not conform to professional qualifications, skills and working abilities needed for the corresponding position, we must not protect him, as it will be even worse than to have nothing at all. The personal reserve of the civil service has started functioning, which gives an opportunity to use the human and professional resources more effectively. The process was fully public, open for community and news agencies. There are the witnesses of the competitions, attestation and training processes, as well as the changes. The civil service newspaper has been published since 2003 and the website in 3 languages has been launched since 2004. The system entered a new qualitative phase at the end of 2005. The time for succession came, the first demand of which was the quality. The experience of several years has already made the vulnerable sides of the system rather noticeable. The corruption risks and the shortening of human factor were on the agenda. The law on civil service has been amended several times.
There was an effort to break the tradition, to limit the bounds of permissiveness of the personnel policy, while the change of the head of a body within the state governance system could undergo personnel reshuffle in one day according to motivation which was not so clear and sometimes clear for them.
We made amendments and changes to the law at least twice a year in the course of 10 years. Voting of the competition and attestation committees is open. Interviews are held with the help of questions offered by the computer. A new appeal mechanism has been created for the competition participants and the civil servants holding an attestation. The grounds for removal of those continuously avoiding attestation were also introduced. The system has succeeded and the job done by all of us during these years is noticeable today. In parallel, the maintenance of the personal files of the civil servants as well as the procedure of meeting the legislative requirements were being monitored. Violations were revealed during continuous researches. Some of the cases were sent to the law enforcement bodies. The pressure was on moral and human levels: friend, relative, neighbor, coursemate, classmate. There is one way to oppose them: to create and determine mechanisms which will bring to the nil the factor of the council and its staff as well as my factor. After the formation of the system, 4 national elections were conducted in Armenia until 2009. There were different political forces in the political framework and in power, but no massive changes within the staff of the state government bodies has took place, and this is the best argument of success. Besides being able to ensure stability within staff of civil servants, we also minimized the influence of officials on promotion and stability. The system underwent a test. The civil servants have become more protected not only by the law, but also as a result of the improvement of own professional skills and knowledge. The Council regularly organizes meetings with the civil servants in the regional level as well to ensure the qualitative and content changes happen faster. The working meetings and mutual visits between partners from Nagorno-Karabakh are becoming more frequent. which helps to promote the civil service system in Artsakh as well. The Council also collaborates with non-governmental organizations. A monitoring network consisted of several NGOs, implemented a serious research of competition and attestation procedures in 2006-2007 and provided proposals. The fact of standing of the system brought to the extension of the civil service framework. There are 46 governing bodies instead of 41 within the system since 2009. At the same time, the special civil service introduction procedure started in the security, defense and law enforcement agencies. International authorities have always assisted the system at all stages of its founding, standing and development. During the past 10 years, partnership has been established with the different authorized bodies of the United Nations Organization, World Bank, Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, European Union and European Council. With their assistance, a number of programs have been fulfilled. The new ones have been outlined in the sphere of exchange of skills, technical and methodical help, training and other directions. 10 years is a long period in someone's life indeed, but it is not so long for such an important state institution as the Council. Sure enough, many things have been done in this period. Some procedures have already been approved and are in force, but there is still much to do. So we offer hand and try to unite our efforts. The system seeks ways to organize the training of the civil servants abroad as well. The stable cooperation has been established with partners from China, Bulgaria, Egypt, Italy, Cyprus, Ukraine, Ireland and other countries. In December 2008, within the framework of the working visit of the President Serge Sargsyan to Bulgaria, a 3-year cooperation agreement for 2009-2012 has been approved between partner authorities of the two countries. Such memoranda have been signed with other countries as well. Proceeding from the needs of the system, the information system of human resources management has been introduced by the World Bank Public Sector Modernization Project. This system has speeded up the implementation of all functions included in the civil service, created an environment of network communication and has given an opportunity to conduct a complete and integrated civil service electronic databases. From the very beginning of introduction of the civil service, one of the key problems of the system was the formation of management capabilities within the staff of the relevant state bodies. For this purpose, with the initiative of the Council, the Commission for the Reforms of the Public Administration System implemented a project aimed at creation of the Human Resources Management Information System, which had a goal to strengthen the personnel management within the civil service, unification of the requirements derived from the legislation, as well as works related to the personnel management and organization, introduction of electronic functions of administration. Armenia has already joined the international non-formal network of the public service. The Civil Service Council hosted Profession in Perspective International Annual Conference in September 2011. The participants were greeted by Tigran Sargsyan, the Republic of Armenia Prime Minister. The Civil Service Council, formed in the Republic of Armenia, is one of the succeeded and important state bodies. We have passed the complex and important stage of the structure's development, and today our task is to modernize it, taking into account the international experience and up-to-date methods. CSC elaborated and introduced the draft law on public service to the government in 2008-2009, according to which new anti-corruption institutions were introduced not only in the sphere of civil service but also in public and community services, such as a new way of declaration of assets and income of public officials, conflict of interest, general and unified norms of conduct, etc. The law on public service has been approved by the National Assembly, which introduces new requirements to the public sector, a component of which is a civil service. We may now state that the legislative environment, which is to regulate the system of civil service, is approved and it functions. The civil service of Armenia has been in progress of development since 2010. The official portal of the Council has been launched, which helps to provide electronic services to the citizens in this field. The strategy for competitions, attestation and training was worked out. The elaboration of the concept of development of this sphere started in 2011, which should be based on the conformation of the system to the key principles of European standards. That policy will include all the basic directions of the system: recruitment, promotion, vocational training, enhancement of servants' professional skills, work performance assessment, etc. European Union Sigma project is assisting this, which has been cooperating with the Council for 4 years now. Responsiveness must be achieved. In consequence, it will be possible to draw around the reforms in state management. This is too important for the international integration of Armenia. We are ready to continue the cooperation, to assist comprehensively. Anyway, all the undertakings must be enhanced with your knowledge and experience. The logic of the reforms should lead to more efficient, strong and protected civil service system. One of the elements of protection is social. Social protection package for civil and other employees is being introduced for the first time in our country. It is much more important issue today to motivate civil servants to develop their professional skills and careers. Protected only by law, armed with knowledge and with deserved living. This credo should be the implicit guarantee of professional promotion of thousands of civil servants. This is not the sphere we may once note that everything is ideal and fine, or complete and solved. This is a trip that has no end. This is the next decade of the civil service of Armenia, the time for new ideas and developments, new projects and achievements, to be continued instead of full stop. Dear compatriots, the system of civil service is 10 years old. I congratulate all of us and I wish that all the directions that are foreseen with the introduction of this system to become true. And we must make an effort to realize them. I congratulate especially the civil servants and wish that they, each in his place, to be more competent, smart, conscientious and liable.